We'll start with tax filing. Most of us think that, why do I need to file a tax even if I am a student? And I don't know if you guys know that you have an obligation to do tax filing here once you land in Canada, even though you are a student. So we have Piyushbhai. Piyushbhai Mody is a chartered accountant from India. He has a CPA degree from the US. He is a tax and accounting practitioner for the last 15 years. He has been in the community leading many other organizations as well. He has taught at Humber College. So he was a professor in Humber College for almost 10 years. So without further ado, I'll invite Piyushbhai to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected President Mr. Dhaval Vaidya, other expert presenters of the day, my dear fellow students, and other professionals. So the first thing that strikes to us when you come here as a student or as a new immigrant would be, one of the main important aspect is what is the tax filing requirement. Do I really need to file the tax? And many of us as a student do have a myth saying that, I don't have any income, so why should I really file any tax? So since the time is limited, I will straight away come to the topic. If you can do the next. Okay. So let me first set the background. In back home country, it may be a rule that, unless you have a taxable income where you need to pay the tax, you don't have to file the tax. But as against that, I would like to straight away say that here the system is different. Even if you see the Canada Revenue Agency, which is an administering agency for tax, they have prescribed a form where you have to file the individual tax return. And that is called T1 General 2019. And if you see, the heading would be income tax and benefit return. Okay, so the word is very important, income tax and benefit return. So that itself says that along with the tax filing, there are associated benefits. Those benefits could be federal or it could be even provincial. So the first and foremost thing that I would like to say here to the students and others is that there could be a variety of reasons for filing taxes. It doesn't matter whether you have a taxable income to offer or not. A few reasons I've just listed here. Let's say if you come here as a student and worked someplace, some restaurant, some coffee shops, and if they have deducted any tax out of your earnings and they give you at the end of the year, you would be aware T4, statement of earning. So if there is any tax that is deducted, if you want to claim the refund, it becomes necessary for you to file the taxes, right? As against that, if you owe any taxes, right, then also it becomes your obligation to file tax. Secondly, as I said already, if you have to claim the federal and provincial benefits, it becomes necessary for you to file the taxes. And I'm referring to two main benefit, GST credit and Ontario Trillium benefit. All of us are here from Ontario, so I would talk about provincial benefit, keeping in mind Ontario, right? So along with the income that you have, okay, along with the there is a income band. Lower the income, higher the tax benefit. The federal benefit being HST and provincial being Ontario Trillium benefit. So there is a band up to which you get the full credit, and thereafter the credit gets phased out. So for example, if we talk about the GST credit, you come here, you pay the, you buy so many things, you pay GST, HST, Government doesn't give you all what you've spent on GST, HST. Okay, so therefore you get some rebate when you file the taxes in the form of an income. Your income up to $38,507 of income, you get the full benefit, and then it gets phased out. So that's about federal benefit, GST, HST. Even when you come here and before you file your first tax, you should apply for that very same GST, HST benefit in the form RC 151, so that you start getting that benefit from the next quarter. They pay you at the start of each quarter, January 1st, 1 to 10. Then you have payment in April, you have in July, you have in October. So you must file this form RC 151 as soon as you come, whether your tax filing is due or not, doesn't matter, you should file that. Along with that filing, you also get Ontario Trillium benefit, which is nothing but the combination of two payments. It's Ontario Energy and Property Tax Credit and a sales tax credit, again associated with the income level. So that's a very significant point to note, that you must file the tax. Other reasons that could be there for filing the tax is, let's say, if you want to claim some credit. Many of you are here in international student or simply student, and you have your tuition and education slip from the educational institution. So if you want to claim tuition fee credit, which helps you to get the refund, you must file the tax. Even if you don't have income, don't worry, just put it in the year in which you have paid for the tuition and you got the T2202. That credit will be carried forward indefinitely and will help you to bring the tax refund when you have full employment earning or any other earning on which you have paid the tax. So that's very important, tuition and education tax credit. I believe you must be aware of T2202A. Have you heard about that? Okay. So you must put this on the tax return and file it to be able to carry forward the claim. Okay. Next credit that could be significant from your point of view is interest on student loan. When you come here, and if you have any Ontario student assistance program or a Canada student loan program assistance, and once you start repaying it, along with the repayment, you have to pay the interest. And that interest qualifies for tax reduction. You must put it on your return to be able to claim that. That can also be carried forward. Third important credit that helps you bring refund is a refundable tax credit. That means that it will generate a refund. It's a climate action incentive. This has started from the year 2018. All of us here pay some tax through the gasoline that we use in our car. So as a form of rebate, the government gives the climate action incentive payment. It could be depending on whether person is single or with family. It could be between $230 to $350 that can come as a refund. So in short, number one, tax filing is necessary. Even if you don't feel that you are obliged to file tax, please do consider filing taxes, because that will help you bring money, that will help you bring credit. Say, for example, if you are the parent, if you have a kid, then you, in order to claim Canada Child Benefit, you also have to file taxes. Both the spouse need to file taxes, okay? Despite the fact that you have nil income. So therefore, the message is that tax filing is absolutely necessary. It may be compulsory. In some case, it could be beneficial for some reason. Okay, so next. That's the short and sweet presentation from students' perspective. If anyone has any question, I don't know whether can I take question now? Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask me. There are a lot to cover, but keeping in mind 10 to 15 minutes, this is what I thought would be the best. How am I doing in terms of time? Do I have a time for question answer? Yeah, okay.
Okay, one question here. Student, he's a student, he came with a family, he has kids, so he has to file the taxes?
So your question, if I understood correctly, is that a student is here and he's with the family. Yeah, okay. And your question is whether he has to file the taxes.
He and a spouse too.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in during my discussion, that it could be either obligatory or it could be beneficial. Now, if there is an income on which he has paid the tax, and then if you put it on the tax return, you will know whether you owe the money, whether you have a refund. So if you want to claim refund, you can file it. Unless you file it, you don't get the tax refund. Plus, if the student is a parent of the kid, in order to claim Canada Child Benefit, it is a requirement that both the spouse must file the tax return.
Yeah, my second question was the same thing, like, will they get child tax benefits, like Canada Child Benefits for them?
Yes, again, the central point is that it depends on the combined income of the family being husband and wife. So there is a line 236, which is a net income. If husband and wife net income is below roughly $180,000, then you still qualify for Canada Child Benefit payment.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Any international students come to Canada as a student visa holder, and they have an income for that particular year, calendar year in back home. So how they merge, or what's point they need to keep in mind?
Good question. The question, as we all know, the international student has an income from back home and also the income here in Canada for whatever time they are here. So there are two implications. Number one is that, as I said, RC 151 form, which helps student in getting the federal GST, right, and Ontario Trillium benefit. If you fill that out, then you get that benefit if the income is roughly below $38,000. So in that form, what is asked is the student's income from January 1 of the year in which they arrive till the date of arrival in Canada. So for example, if somebody has come in May 25, 2020. So then in that case, it will become necessary to put on that form income in back home country converted into Canadian dollar from January 1, 2020 to 24th of May or 23rd of May 2020. If that income is below $38,000, then they will definitely qualify for that payment. Number two is that when the income is there subsequent to arriving in Canada, while filing the tax return of that year, you have to, of course, report that income, maybe on a T4 or any other income. But even on that tax return, you have to mention the income that was there on the back home country. That income does not go on the tax return. So for example, if I've come here on May 25, so I do have to put my income for a prior calendar period, meaning from 1st January to 24th May, on my first tax return. I'm not paying tax on that because I am only liable to pay tax from the time that I arrived into this country. But that income is only required for calculation of GST benefit for the next year. So yes, the answer is yes, you must report that income in the initial benefit and on the tax return for disclosure.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
For somebody who's on unemployment benefits, can they, still go for student, taxes?
Yes, if you are on a unemployment insurance, you will get a slip called T4E. Right, nowadays Canada Revenue Agency or the Service Canada doesn't mail out that physical slip at your address, but you have to log in and take out that T4E. E stands for employment insurance. So that is still taxable, and you have to report it on the tax return. And if there is any tax that is deducted, you can avail of the tax credit. So the answer is yes.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And getting tax advice from a Guju and a CA and a CPA, what else can we get? The best advice ever. So please give a big hand to Piyush.
Thank you so much.